I've been asked more than a few times, how do you come up with something to talk about every single video? How do you always come up with the topic in your brain? How do you know what to say? Do you script this? Do you not script this? How long does the video take to record? Questions along those lines. Honestly, man, if I can show you where I am right now in my garage on this flat bench that I'm sitting on, if you could just see what I'm doing here, you would maybe understand. Basically, what I do is I sit down on this bench. I prepared the video that you guys are watching right now. So I put all the inserts of weights and I cut it up. The whole video might take an hour to do. The voiceover takes, as long as whatever length the video is, so 15 minutes, 16 minutes, whatever it is. And that's basically it. I usually do one takes. So there's no editing of the voice, there's no scripts, there's nothing. I just literally sit down here, and oftentimes I close my eyes and I just talk. And the talking is just basically whatever I want it to be. And the topics, like you guys are asking, how do you know what to say? My brain is always running, and I'm sure your brain is always running as well. Maybe the difference is that I don't care and I'm completely comfortable where I am as a human being and where I am in this space. I don't care. I've reached a point in my life where I don't care if I, attract negative attention, or whether people are like, oh, you're a sook for crying, or I don't agree with your philosophy, all that sort of stuff. I've reached to a point in my life where I'm like, I don't care. I know I'm going to have, people in one corner who don't like me. I'm going to have people in another corner that do like me. Whether I do something or not, there's always going to be a polar kind of aspect of opinions, in regards to me. And I've had stages of my life where I've kind of tried to do the best to please everybody. And even when you do that, somebody ends up being pissed off anyway. So I've kind of reached a point in my life where I'm like, I'm just going to do me. I know who I am. I know what I want out of life. The people close to me are the most important, and they're the closest to me because they love me, who I am. Trying to go out of your way to please other people who are basically not supposed to be in your life because you might be completely different to that person and they don't agree with what you do, and vice versa, and whatever. It's very hard to keep those type of people in your life. So just be yourself, be true to yourself, do what you do. These videos are literally, a door opening in my mind, and you guys are basically listening to the thoughts that come to my brain. It's all almost like meditation. A friend of mine said to me, this is kind of like a journal. I'm having kind of like a audio journal with these videos where I just basically talk, and I talk to somebody that doesn't talk back, which is this phone, and I just let out whatever comes to my mind. A few of you guys have said, how do you come up with these topics? And I just think to myself, I'm sure your brain thinks about something as well. It just happens to be that most of the time my brain is this problem that I have, this puzzle that I have, how to get stronger, how to go about it the way I like to go about it, and all these different things that I try to put into this recipe. That's kind of what my thinking goes to. Obviously, I have lots of other concerns in my life. I don't think about training all the time. I have a job, I have wife, kids, family, all those kind of associated issues and events that come up, and I have to think about those things. But when it's my time, when it's just me and alone, a lot of the time I go back to this problem, this passion of mine, this thing that I love to do, which is the barbell. I love the squat, the deadlift. The squat kind of was a very difficult thing for me when I first kind of tried it. It didn't come to me easily. I thought about it from every single way I could probably think about it, and I still have problems with it, and I still am not happy with it, and I still want to get better at it. So any chance I get, I think about this, and there's so many different angles to this. There's so many freaking things you can think about. So it's easy. The thoughts are always there. When it's something when something is a passion, man, your body wants to feel good. Your mind wants to think about the things that it loves to think about. So you don't need to work hard to think about something that you love. You know what I mean? Like when you're hungry as hell and you're just dying to eat, what do you think about? You think about your favorite foods, man. You think about that pork on a spit. You think about that, burger. You think about that curry, whatever the hell it is. You're thinking about the things that you want. I'm freaking starving for that 300 kilo squat, man. what am I going to think about? You know what I mean? Like, I'm starving for this stuff, man. Like, if it was up to me, I'd be a full-time athlete. But that ship has sailed, man. Like, I'm 32 years old. Like, all these opportunities have kind of left me. I can't be an NBA basketball player. I can't be in the UEFA playing for Real Madrid, Barcelona. Like, all these things have not been kind of, the opportunities haven't presented themselves to me. But, like, I'm sure a lot of you guys are in the same boat. Man, there's nothing else I wanted to do other than just be a professional athlete, man. I couldn't care less whether it was soccer or basketball. Basketball happened to kind of catch my heart, and that was kind of the love, the first love, I guess, in terms of, training and all that stuff. And, eventually I realized at 20 that this wasn't going to happen. It was a hard pill to swallow, but I let it go. But still, the passion for training, the process of training was still there. And I somehow managed, through sheer luck, I don't know what the hell it was, but I somehow managed to find something that I loved. It is as difficult as basketball. This powerlifting game, I don't know, Olympic weightlifting, I don't even know which camp I fall into. I just love to freaking squat, and I want to get bigger and better at squatting and deadlifting. Those are kind of the primary things. And I spend a lot of time thinking about it. I started off like everyone else starts off, these 5x5 programs, and you name it, I did them. Alongside of that kind of start in that world, my nursing career started as well. They kind of, simultaneously started side by side. One side I'd go to the freaking university, study my postgraduate diploma in emergency nursing, and learn about the biology and chemistry there. Then I'll go home, go to the gym and work out how to get 5 kilos on the squat. And so I would have this parallels draw all the time. I'm like, how come biology is behaving like this over here, but then these bro over here is telling me I gotta do this over here? It's like, we're the same organism here. And so these kind of ideas started kind of, as I was kind of getting more and more educated in nursing and medicine and all that stuff, I was also educating, this is early 20s, I was getting educated in the I guess, physical education, training, biomechanics, all that sort of stuff. So I had two schools that I was kind of attending. One was the barbell, the other one was the emergency ward. So if I was not thinking about how to solve somebody's, I don't know, DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis, if I wasn't thinking about how to treat somebody like that, I was thinking about how do you treat somebody that has a really, really forward leaning over back squat? How do you treat that guy? How do you treat poor ankle mobility, poor hip mobility? Why is my hip like? That's basically why my brain is like that. It's like, I don't know too many guys who just go about their day, don't think about anything. You can't force, something else on yourself that you're not. I'm sure you think about something all the time as well. Maybe I'm kind of different like that I just spend the majority of my free time thinking about weightlifting and how to get better at this, and all the stuff surrounding all of that is also life as well. Like I've said this in the past, like this gym thing, man, this barbell thing, it's a freaking life teacher, man. Like it's so many qualities that are associated with the barbell are transferable to everyday life, to the plight. The barbell plight and life plight is basically the same, man. Like there's so many crossover moments. Teaches you persistence, perseverance, discipline, all those type of things. Mentally being strong, dealing with adversity, dealing with injuries, dealing with this, doing things that you don't want to do, and pushing through those type of things. So my brain is always on fire. I'll turn these videos on and literally I just picture maybe you, or maybe I'm just by myself. I'm just talking to some person. I'm not thinking about 20,000 people might hear this. Like if you put me on a podium and 20,000 of you blokes rocked up to listen to me, I'm not a natural speaker, man. I've never given a speech to 20,000 people, man. Like you would find that I'm not as comfortable as I am in my little cozy garage here where there's no eyes on me. I mean, I understand this video is going to go out to a lot of you guys, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about it's maybe me and a mate, or preferably just me alone, because that's where my thoughts are pure. They are disrupted. Like if somebody was here and I was looking at their facial expression, my eyes are looking at their facial expression, and I'm processing that facial expression, whether you agree with me or not agree with me or whatever. Like these monologues, these talks where I don't have any kind of feedback as I'm talking, I don't have any facial expressions, I don't have anything to go on. my brain is just pure. Like it just runs on whatever it wants to run on. And then these are the videos that I make. It's not a lot of work. I mean, the whole thing takes maybe an hour and a half, depending on the video. The training session today took 2 hours. So that's 3.5 hours. And then I'll try and spend an hour or two a day, sometimes even more when I have days off, of, talking to you guys in the comments. And that's kind of getting more and more difficult as the community grows. That's kind of a sore spot for me, especially when I have shifts, man. Like I miss basically a whole day's worth of, talking to you guys. And I know a lot of guys will say this, but I truly mean it. Like one of the biggest, joys that I have is actually talking to you guys. There's a lot of knowledge there with you guys. Just because these videos I make doesn't mean I'm better than you guys. There's a lot of you guys who are freaking better than me, man. More experienced than me. And, so talking to you guys gives me ideas. Some of you guys are new to the game, and I would have loved to have somebody like me tell me, myself, maybe 7 years experience telling me, some pointers. I remember leaving comments on other YouTubers when I was like 7, 10, 15 years ago. I'd ask a question, oh, I have this problem. No one would ever get back to me, man. And that pissed me off. Not pissed me off, but I just thought that's kind of, these popular people don't have time or whatever. And so I want to be the other guy. I want to be the guy who answers people, who tries to get people better. Like for me, there's nothing for me to hide, man. Like the perspective that I come from is I'm not breaking any world records, period. I'm not winning any competitions. I don't even go to a competition. This thing to me is just a passion, a hobby of mine. So it's not like I'm trying to withhold information from my enemy or from my competitor because that guy might get that information and beat me on the competition. It's not like that. I want you to be better. You know what I mean? Like I think it's really good. If I can contribute to somebody breaking a world record, and that guy might one day come back to me and be like, man, whatever you said that to me helped me. Man, I feel like I'm part of your success, man. And so that's my position. Like, I almost feel like an old man. Like my time has passed. I can't do anything special anymore. That's kind of how I feel almost. And so if I can influence somebody on their journey to do something amazing, why wouldn't you do that? That's why I share these things. And a lot of you guys, man, like you send me these damn messages, man, and it just makes me smile, man. Like you guys literally, like, you inspire me. Like these words I've never heard in my life. That I'm a role model. Jesus Christ, man. I'm not supposed to be a role model, man. I'm just me, man. I'm just a regular dude just like you. That's it. And so if I can help one or two of you guys out, man, like, I just wish I had more time. It's 80,000 subscribers is incredible, man. I can't even believe that I've even said this word, but there's a lot of you guys, and I wish I could reply to a lot of you. But now in the last couple of weeks, I've realized that the messages are coming in all the time, both on Instagram and on YouTube, and I'm falling behind a lot. There was a point where I was answering every single comment. Like a couple of months ago, I was answering every single comment, like my notification, my comments feed that I get I've got a different app to you guys maybe. I've got this YouTube Studio app, which kind of is a better way for me to kind of get to the comments. More efficient way, less loading times and whatnot. Now I'm like hopelessly behind. Every video, like maybe 1 out of 4 or 5 videos, I managed to get to all of the comments. And so then also on Patreon, I mean, the Patreon guys, I make sure I answer you guys basically within a couple of hours. I try every opportunity I get. I first look at the Patreon, then I look at YouTube, then Instagram. Usually I look at Instagram second because there's only like a few messages there as well. So I get them out of the way because in Instagram I feel like it's easier to communicate, to have a conversation. Whereas in comments, the way the YouTube Studio app is, it's kind of, I get lost. I don't see the replies because there's new comments that kind of supersede them and it just gets out of hand. So I go Patreon, Instagram, and then YouTube. But I remember a time where I used to like basically at the end of the day I've answered everybody. Now it's going to a point where it's just impossible. And especially when I have the shifts, man, like I'm back and there's been like 12 hours, 14, 15 hours of no interaction at all, and it's like too much. But essentially, man, that's me, man. This is a passion of mine. It's of course I'm going to think about these things all the time. And if you're like me, your mind probably races on as well. I take these thoughts and I run with them, and I go to the gym and I try and implement some of these ideas and play and play and play. You know, I just mess around, and eventually I find something that carries over to whatever the thing I want to improve on, and voila. Anyway, guys, enough of the black screen. I thought I'd talk about this topic because a lot of you guys have asked me, how do you have something to say? I just think, and I basically open up the door to my thoughts, and that's exactly what it is. It's completely unscripted, and it's just me talking to you like we've got a beer between us, just drinking a couple of beers. That's kind of how I treat these things. So a lot of these things are unstructured and whatever, but I think a lot of you guys appreciate the fact that it's not heavily edited. It's just authentic, raw, and it's just me, you know. So cheers to you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.